Hey everyone, today we're going to go over 3 focus crafts from cheap to expensive so you can upgrade your character. You can also potentially make some profit off of these. What we want to do is search for a focus magic with the level of spell skills at 2. Now, the bases here at baseline are very, very cheap. If you don't mind going for minimum sort of energy shield kind of bases, you can go from 1 to 2 div. If you do want the maximum energy shield bases, it's this one here, the Tazalian Focus. Oh, I didn't click on it properly. There we go. These ones cost you about 10 div each. I know there's one here for 6. This isn't too bad. We could potentially scoop this one up. As you can see, the energy shield is a bit higher. Now, it does have an energy shield roll. So let's go ahead and grab this one since it's a bit cheaper than the average. But you can get them from about 1 to 2 divines each. So let's grab this one. We'll go back in and we'll just take this off and we'll grab another one. We'll grab a nice cheap one here. So you just want to go one that has the higher kind of energy shield. Let's see. We don't want the whirl. This one's corrupted. We don't care about that. You can take off corruption by going like this. Corrupted, no. And we'll go again. Okay, so what do we want here? We could take something like this for 62. This one here is probably a little bit better. It's 2 divine. Let's grab this one. And let's use these two as our example. So this will be the cheaper craft first. We'll get into the more expensive one afterwards. Let's go back to our base. So what we're going to do is we're going to aim for 3 suffixes first. So let's come over here. We'll go to our essences and we're going to grab the greater essence of seeking. So this one will upgrade our focus to rare and give us a critical hit chance for spells. So that's really nice. Crit chance for spells, crit chance for spells. Very good. What we want to do is then put a socket in here. So let's go over here and we'll grab this and we'll put in the sockets. Now, what we want to do is we want to put Astrid's creativity in here so we can get an additional crafted modifier. I've got a few of these available already, so let's pop these in. And then what we're going to use is the Transcendent Alloy. So this will remove one of the mods and add a increased cast speed with, again, extra elemental damage as cold, extra cold. So that's pretty nice. What we want to do, though, is we want to force this to remove the prefix. So we're going to use the Sinistral Crystallization to force it to remove a prefix. Otherwise, it'll just pick something at random, and we definitely don't want that. So let's do that for this one, and we'll do it on this one here as well. There we go. We now have 3 good suffixes here. We've got level of all spell skills, we've got crit chance, cast speed, as well as the bonus elemental as extra cold, which is really, really nice. So now all we have to do is put some prefixes on here. So what you can do is, look, I've got 2 perfected exalts here. You can use the Omen of Greater Exaltation. So whenever we add an exalt, it'll put 2 random modifiers on here instead of 1. So we can proc this. Now, if you don't have enough currency to go Perfected, Exalted Orb, you can always go with the Greater. I don't mind using these because it does have a higher chance of giving us something actually good. So let's do that. Okay, we've got Cold Damage and Energy Shield. The Cold Damage is actually really good. It's a tier 1. We also got a tier 2 Hybrid Energy Shield and Maximum Mana. So actually not too bad. Not too bad. We could do this here as well. What do we get? Maximum mana and maximum energy shield. So the maximum mana, not super amazing. It's a tier 4, but the energy shield roll there is pretty good. So now, if you have a lot of currency to spend, one thing you could potentially do is try and whittle to see if we could get off the maximum mana. I don't necessarily recommend doing that if you don't have a lot of currency to spend. However, yeah, that is an option. We did get a pretty good energy shield roll here, so we could potentially make something pretty good out of these two. And the last step is just to put some ribs on here. Now, if you can't afford the ancient rib, that's okay. You can go with a preserved rib. I'm going to go with the ancient just for this example here. I think these are about 4 div each, and these are much cheaper. So if you don't have enough, that's okay. You can just use the those ones there, but that's okay. Well, let's go with the ancient rib. Let's see if we can get something good to roll in the Well of Souls. So we do want to take a few Abyssal Echoes in here. Now, we do have some Omens of Light. I won't use them on these ones just yet. That cold damage one could potentially be pretty good if we get an energy, like a high energy shield roll. We'll see if we can get something like that. So let's go into the Well of Souls. Let's do this one first. This is the one that rolled the tier 1 cold damage. We'll see if we can get something really good. Maximum mana. We got percentage energy shield. We already have a lot of percentage energy shield. We could take this and try and maybe roll off the other energy shield one. I don't know. We could maybe just try our luck and see what we get. Okay, we did get a flat energy shield here. Let's take the flat. Let's take that one there. Now, it's up to you whether you want to go higher percentage there. For this particular one, I think the flat will be good because we're able to get more percentage. It's only 209 energy shield, though, so maybe the percentage would have been a little bit better mathematically on that one. I didn't actually calculate that first, but that's okay. So what do we want here? We definitely want the flat energy shield or a damage roll if we can get it. Not really all that good. So we do have the spell skills have +1 to maximum summon totems. This is good if you're going with a totem build. Not really my build. We do get spell damage and fire damage. We could just take the spell damage here. This one's okay. So let's grab that for now. So for reasonably cheap, we made something like this, which has cold damage. So if you're using, for example, something like Comet, this would be pretty good. If not, you know, we got a decent energy shield. This one isn't that great, but we do get spell damage at tier 2, which is like pretty generic. So that one's not too bad. So these could potentially be an upgrade for you, and they're very cheap to craft like that. So let's quickly put the quality on here and see what kind of energy shield we could potentially get. Now we got to go and put in our iron runes. Like so. And I don't know if I have any masterwork runes left at the moment. Let's have a look. I only got one. That's all right. We can get some more later. Let's put it on. This one had more, so let's put it on this one here. So we got almost up to 300 energy shield there. Not too bad. But now we can price check these as well. I don't know. Cold damage. How much is cold damage selling for at the moment? I'm not too sure. That's 30 divine, so you could potentially make a little bit of profit here. We didn't spend 30 divine, so you could potentially make some profit there. Spell damage is a bit more generic. It might be a bit easier to sell. And this one's 60, so we could potentially make some profit off of these two already. So that's nice. So we'll go back to our hideout here. These ones, you know what? I might just throw them up on the market. We'll see. We'll see if anyone wants to buy them. So for this one, I'm just gonna put this one on here for 50. And we'll see if anyone wants to buy that. And this one, what did we say? 30? I don't know if these will sell straight away. Focuses don't, or Focii, they don't seem to sell super quickly, but they've slowly been selling for me as we go. So, okay, so for method number 2, we can try and grab a fractured base. You can change this from all spell skills to fractured. So if you just come down here, I'll just show you what we do. Take that out and go all spell skills. And then you come down, instead of using the normal one, you come down here for the fractured one. Now I've taken off magic up here because the fractured ones will be rare. So we got this, a Tazelian focus. This is 20 divine, so we could pick this one up. Why don't we pick this one up, since it is a good example of what we want to do. Now, the bases like this are about 10 div anyway, and the fracturing orbs are 9 div or so, so this is totally fine to buy this. You can try and fracture them yourself. I don't personally think it's necessarily worth taking the 1 in 3 odds on these foci, because they're reasonably easy to craft at base level here. So let's take one of these just so I can show you how the method works. So let's get out of here now. Okay, now we have this base. We just want to put a single mod. We can slam it with anything. It doesn't really matter. Maximum energy shield. That's fine. And now what I'm going to look for is a tier 1 crit chance. So this could take a while. We got, let's see, 192. That's about 20 or so divines worth. Let's see if we can land. We've got spell physical. What we want is a crit chance tier 1, which is pretty low. It's about, I think, 0.4, 0.5. So, I don't know, we might not hit it out of 20 divines worth here. Let's see if we can get lucky. Now, I personally don't really recommend this method for focuses or foci, because I just don't think it's worth spending tons and tons and tons of chaos orbs just hoping for one single affix to roll. I just don't find it all that fun, to be totally honest. We're getting some tier 1s, but not the one that we actually want. So let's see, can we get lucky? Let's see how many it'll take us to do this method. We did get a tier 1 critical spell damage bonus instead. We could go for this. This is actually not too bad. We could do this instead. I might use this as the example because crit bonus is actually pretty nice here as well. I'm going to settle with crit spell damage bonus here instead. That's pretty nice as well. Now, what I'm going to do is force a suffix on here. So we got this. The Exalted Orb will add only suffix modifiers. So let's just slam it and we'll see what we get. We got energy shield. That's not too bad. Now we're going to use the similar sort of process that we used before. And we want to use the crystallization. I only got one left. We're going to have to get some more. We're going to get rid of the affix we just put on, the prefix. And we're going to force on the cast speed and the as extra. So let's do that. Now we got 3 mods that we like. We got 2 tier 1s and the crafted mod. So that's pretty nice. Now, the next part of the craft is pretty similar to what we did before. We're going to slam on a few prefixes. So let's just grab a few more exalts. Let's see how expensive the perfect ones are at the moment. We got perfect, exalted orb. They are 1 for 2.5. So, you know, it's they're not dirt cheap. How much is that? That's, you know, that'll do for now. Okay, whatever. We'll take 5. That's okay. And I think we might actually need some more of the greater exaltations. 77th one. I don't know if we need 77. Let's just do chaos. We'll go, yeah, that's fine. 17 of those. This will enable us to only have to use 1 of these to force on 2. Now, it doesn't really matter anymore because our suffixes are full. Doesn't really matter now. So let's just force 2 on and see what we get. We got energy shield and cold damage. It's actually pretty good. Now, if you wanted to go for a high energy shield, we could just now put on our ancient rib and then go over to the well of soul. So let me just check. I don't think I have any echoes left. Let's buy a few more echoes before we go. So we come in here, go echoes. Echoes are pretty cheap at the moment. I think at this point of the league, they're reasonably cheap. 1 to 2 for chaos orbs. There you go. If we do for divines, it's 5 to 1. Yeah, that's about right. That's fine. Let's go with that for now. Put them on our stack. Now, I'm going to use the ancient rib for this. What I might actually do is grab a few. Okay, we got omens of light. We got annuls. We just need a few more of the ancient ribs. I'm going to go with ancients here. If you're broke, of course, you can go with the other ones. This is a 1 to 3.6 at the moment. So what do we need to do? If we go with, well, let's just grab 10 and that'll be, what, 36? We might need to put in 37. That's fine. We'll do that. Okay. We got what we need. This is actually turning out to be a reasonable piece here because we got kind of lucky with the Exalt Slam, but that's okay. We take those, of course. Now, you won't always get lucky. You might have to use some annulment orbs. So the next craft I'm going to show you, there's almost a guarantee we're going to have to use some annulment purple omens, but we'll see how we go. Okay, so we got our echoes active here. What do we want to see? We're going to go for energy shield on this one, I think. Flat energy shield. We want a T1 flat if we can get it. This is pretty low. We want something higher. Okay, this is pretty good. This ended up being a pretty good item right here. Come on, old mate. Grab it. So this ended up being a pretty good item. We do need to go back and grab Perfected Iron Rune or some Masterwork Runes. So let's do that. I think I ran out of Masterwork Runes before. So let's go back here. See how much the Masterwork Runes are at the moment. If you already have the Greater Iron Runes, you can buy a few of these. What are we going to trade them for? Let's go. Okay, these are a little expensive. No, they're not super expensive, but you're going to have to spend a little bit to grab some of these. You can just go the Perfected Iron Runes straight up. Perfected. Nope, that's not how you spell it. How do you do Iron Rune? There. Oh, Perfect Iron Rune, not Perfected. There you go. It might be better value just to use the Masterwork Rune though. These are one to. Oh no, it's not too bad actually. I would just say you can go with that. Okay, so we want to now put our quality on here. We want to go like this. put our rune in over here. Put our rune in, and then we want to put the master work, which I got over here. Now we can see how much something like this is worth too. So we can also, it's 449. So one thing that you can also do is, I'm not sure where they are in my in my inventory though. Hold on. Let's have a look. We can do a vial infuser because the first one is always free basically. You can do an extra percentage there. So something like this is 450 energy shield with tier 1 cold damage, crit bonus, as well as cast speed and the +2. So let's have a look at something like this. There's only 2 of them on the market at the moment, so 400 div. Let's have a look. What is his one? He's got the +1 suffix, which we'll show you next. Okay, that's fine. We could put this up for, I don't know, maybe 300 and potentially get a sale off that. So let's do that. I don't know if anyone's going to buy it straight away. I'm not using cold on my build right now, so I'm happy just to put this one on the market. So we'll come over here to Focii. As you can see, I've been crafting a few of these. We'll just pop it up for 300. I don't know, that would potentially sell. I don't know how long that'd take to actually sell, but so that is another way of crafting. Instead of going for the crit damage that I got there, I got the tier 1 crit damage, so I just decided to go with that. You can go for crit chance instead if you want. The odds are reasonably low. Let's have a look-see. So tier 1 is 0.4. Let's go over the crit chance and the crit damage. Where is the crit damage? Down here. Crit damage, they're the same. So that was actually pretty lucky. So that's not too bad. We didn't have to spend too many chaos orbs doing that. So that's method number 2. So for method number 3, we're going to go with the Tazalian Focus item level 82 magic. We're going to go with 2 sockets. So we're looking for 2 socket bases here. Level of all spell skills 2. As you can see, these ones are 40 divine each, so they're a little bit more expensive as a base. I've already purchased one over here, so we'll have a look. Because this one is magic, we just need to slam it. We can slam it and just see what we get. It doesn't really matter. I've only got 4 of these left. It's okay. We actually got a pretty high energy shield roll there, so we could try and work with that as well. So there's actually 2 things we can do. Because we got a good prefix here, we could potentially try and keep it on there. I'll show you that in a second. So what we'll do is we will still go into our essences. We want the crit chance for spells, so we'll do that. We'll upgrade it with crit chance, which is really nice. We're going to put an Astrid's creativity in here as well, like so. And we're going to force a crafted mod on here. Okay, but because we did get something good on the prefix here, what we could potentially do is fill out the other 2 prefixes and actually hope that we get something really good. So let's actually do that. Let's force some prefixes on here. We can go with a greater Exile 2 and just see what we get. So we're going to force prefixes on. We're going to slam 2 and just see what we get. Okay, we got mana and we got tier 1 energy shield. So this is actually pretty good. We like the tier 1 energy shield. So this is okay. This isn't too bad. We have a pretty good chance of keeping one of the energy shields. In fact, we do have a 100% chance of keeping one of the energy shields on here now, which is really good. The best case scenario would be to force off the maximum mana when we do the next step. We'll see if we get lucky. Let's just deactivate those. Okay, so the next perfect or corrupted essence will only remove the prefixes, so it can only remove one of those 3 prefixes. Maximum mana is ideal. We'll see if we get lucky. We did not, unfortunately, but that's okay, because now we have 3 suffixes that we like. So now what we're going to do is force on a 4th suffix modifier. So I'm going to use the Searle's Triumph. We're going to overwrite the Astrid's creativity. Now this one is socket bound, so once you put this in, you cannot take it out. So just be aware of that, guys. So let's do that. So now we can actually force on 1 additional suffix. So that's really nice. What do we want to do? We actually want to put an ancient rib, and we're going to go for crit damage here as well. So let's do that. We want to force the rib onto the suffix slot though. So what do we need for that? We need to come over to this, and we need to get the omen of textual necromancy. So Let's do that, and that will go there. Very good. And now we can go to the Well of Souls and we can try and get crit damage. So we're going to end up with a focus here that has cast speed, crit chance, crit damage, as well as elemental damage as extra cold. So 4 suffixes is what we're going to try and go for here. Since we got pretty lucky on some of the other crafts, we will see how much we have to spend here to get something good. Now you can settle for resistances if your build needs resistance and you're crafting this for yourself. If you're profit crafting, I think that extra damage is probably going to be a little bit more valuable, but we'll see how we go. So let's see if we can get crit damage to show up. Mana cost efficiency is also kind of interesting. This is a pretty low roll. Again, we got a tier 1 resistance here. If you wanted to settle for resistances, you could. Another resistance, as well as lightning and chaos and energy shield. So this is not actually what we want. Again, we got a really high tier 1 mod here for resistance, fire resistance, 44%. So if you wanted to settle, you could do that. Now, what I'm going to do, we'll come back and we'll keep going on the Well of Souls in a minute. But what I might do before that is we're going to force on another prefix with our Exalted Orb. We could also potentially try and roll off the maximum mana. I don't know if I have any whittlings at the moment. We could potentially try and whittle that off, or we could do a 50-50 with an annulment. But let me see if I have any whittles here. I don't think I do at the moment. All right, let's go actually back over here first. Now, you could keep rolling at the Well of Souls first if you wanted to, but that's okay. We don't really have to. Let's grab a couple of whittles. I'm not actually 100% sure if we can whittle that off in the current state. No, we don't want to spend that many on on whittles, good sir. Let's go with I don't know, 5 for now for 40. Okay, can we get 39 or nope? That's fine. We'll go for 40.
I'll fill that in as soon as
Okay. So if we activate that and we come over to our Chaos Orbs, it's not going to let us do the maximum mana. That's okay. We can try and get it off with a annulment for the prefix too. It's a 50-50. So it's really up to you if you want to hold on to maximum mana. It's really up to you. This part of the craft can get a little bit expensive. So what we'll do at this point is let's slam on another prefix and just see what we can get. If we get Energy Shield, we're going to be pretty happy. We did get Energy Shield. It's not tier 1. It's tier 2. So it's still not too bad. We could potentially settle for that. I don't know. Let's quickly have a look. We could put in our... Let's put in our Iron Rune over here, and then let's put in our Masterwork. Where's the Masterworks over here? Let's quality it up. It's not qualityed yet, so let's do that as well. Now, depending on your build, something like this might be really good. It might slot into your build really well. It doesn't have the damage prefixes, though. It's only got a tier 3 and tier 2, so... Depending on what you want for your build, something like this might already be really good. Let's have a look at what this sort of thing is worth. There's only one on there like this, and it's 800. So I don't think we'd get 800 realistically. It might just sit on the market for a long time at 800. Let's see if we took off the resistance. Yeah, but yeah, so I mean, it's up to you really. We could just settle for this. We could keep rolling. We could use some of our Sinistral annulments just to see what we can get. Again, if we use the whittling at this point, I think the yeah, it'll only get rid of the good stuff that we don't want to get rid of. So that's not really how we want to do it. So we could, at this point, we have a 1 in 3 chance of getting rid of one of the lower tier mods here if we do a prefix. We could just settle for this since we made something that's pretty decent, and we could start over and try and make another one. So okay, so we'll keep this item for now. I've got another one here. Let's try again and see what sort of item we can make. So let's come over here. We want to add on a prefix first. We got a good one. We got a tier 1 spell damage. So when you roll something like tier 1 spell damage, we could try and keep that. We don't have to force 2 crafted mods on. We can potentially get really lucky though if we slam 2 prefixes and then get rid of one of the ones that we don't like. So let's see if we can get lucky. Let's go again. We'll go crit chance over here. We'll go for Astrids. We only got one left for now. That's okay. So at this point, we do want to slam on 2 more prefixes. So let's do that and see what we get. Oh, damn. We got cold damage and spell damage. So that's actually really quite good. So we have a 1 in 3 of removing the maximum mana. If we could remove the maximum mana, that would be so nice. So we can get the cast speed on here. So I don't know. I'm pretty so the double damage rolls are pretty hard to get double tier ones. So I don't know, something like this already worth 300. So maybe it'll be better this time to just slam on a or a suffix. Sorry. So let's get some more exalts. We went through our perfect exalts, but that's okay because we want some more. Let's go perfect. We'll go for 22. Okay, at this point, we just want to slam 1 in. So we want to keep one of our suffixes open. So that's okay. Let's see if we can get crit damage on this. We are laughing. Let's see. We got max roll fire resistance, which is also quite good. So there it is. So an item like this, what we could potentially do is just leave it. We don't need to put a 4th mod on this one. Something like this. There's literally none like this on the market. So I'm not really sure what kind of sale value we could get on this. I don't know. That's a good question. So we could just sell this one. Do I have any more? Let's do another one. I think I might have had one more. No, that was another one I was messing around with. We don't. Let's actually grab one more off the market here. Let's just re-roll that. Whoops. Okay, let's grab another one off the market here quickly. So we've actually gotten pretty lucky in this crafting session here. So let's grab that, come back out. Because we got the tier 1 prefixes when we slammed with our orb of augmentation, we've actually gotten pretty lucky. So let's go again. Okay, this time we got something that it's okay, but I don't know if I really want to keep that one. So this would be a good example for the way I had initially intended this to go. These items ended up being really good just as is, so we might just sort of keep them and I don't know, I could sell them. This one in particular, spell damage, cold, and the max fire resistance with crit chance, pretty good. As you saw, there was nothing on the market like that. So okay, I think I might need to grab another Astrids though, so let's go and do that. Let's go the Astrids creativity. Where are we? What are we gonna sell for? We'll go 5 and that's fine. I've been crafting enough that we can do that. Let's put an Astrids in here. Okay, so what we want to do is we'll go back here. I think I'm almost out of essences too. We got 2 left. That's fine. We'll put the crit chance essence on here first. Now, this time, we don't actually mind getting rid of our prefix. This one, I don't really care for that much, so we'll just straight up get rid of it. So we can do the extra crafted mod. So we do want to make sure the perfected essence gets rid of the prefix. So we do that. And then we just slam it with our transcendent alloy. And now we have 3 suffixes that we really like. So that's really nice. So at this point, what I'm going to do is we can either slam the prefixes first, or we can do the Well of Souls first and go from there. What we might do is we might just slam the prefixes here and just see what we get. So we can do the same method where we use the Omen of Greater Exaltation with a perfect exalted orb and see how we go. Let's just it doesn't really matter for now. That's fine. Let's see what we get. Okay, we got an energy shield and a maximum mana. Not super amazing. We got a tier 2 energy shield, which we don't mind. So what we can actually do is force off one of those with a sinistral annulment. So while this is active in your inventory, your next order of annulment will remove only prefix modifiers. So let's do that. Let's see if we can get rid of that maximum mana. We did. So we could potentially keep a tier 2 energy shield here. We could get greedy and go again. Or we could slam 2 more on and just see what we get. So why don't we do a slam? Let's just go and see what we get. Energy shield and maximum mana. quite a bit of mana, I guess. Kind of. I mean, it's tier 1 and tier 2. We could settle. I don't know. That's only going to be 230. It's not really that amazing. So what we might do is we might try and get rid of some of these. We might need to buy some more Sinistral Annuls. That's okay. We got rid of one. Let's go grab some more of this Sinistral Annulments. Let's see how expensive they are at the moment. So the Annuls. Only prefix. These are 11. These are more expensive, so you don't want to go too crazy with these if you don't have a lot of currency to spend. So I don't know how much will we need to put in for. We go what 57? Oh, I nailed it. I nailed it first go. All right. It only let us buy 3. Okay, whatever. That's fine. So we got a chance to get rid of 50-50 chance to get rid of the maximum mana. You know what? Let's just use one more and slam again and see what we get. And another tier 2 energy shield and maximum mana. It really wants me to have maximum mana today. We could do 50-50 to get rid of it. We could slam one more and just see what we get. Let's... I don't know, maximum mana, it's not really that amazing. Let's annul it one more time and let's see. Oh, we got the maximum mana to stay on. Okay, that's fine. Let's try and grab a few more annulments. I don't know why it didn't want to let me do that. Okay, this time it let me buy 5. Okay, that's cool. So let's annul this down again and see if we can slam on something better this time. Ooh, that's a pretty low tier right there. Okay, well, let's spend a little bit of currency on this one because we got pretty lucky with some of our other crafts in this video. Let's spend a little bit of currency to see if we can get something better. 2 tier 2 energy shields. We could potentially get 3 energy shield mods on this roll if we slam it on again. Let's see if we can get another energy shield to show up. We did. Okay, we got... It's not super high energy shield, but it's a decent amount of energy shield. So at this point, we could either settle or we could put in the Searle and try and get a 4th suffix on here. Since we got 3 energy shield mods, we could upgrade it and just see how much value we can get out of this. So again, we can override these mods later if we really want to. So it's not really a big deal. Okay, so what do we got? 18, and we'll upgrade it here. 484.97. Ooh, we're so close to 500. Let's just boost it up over 500. All right, so how much is something like this without the extra crafted mod? It's not worth a crazy amount considering how much currency we dumped into this. It's not too crazy. So what we could do is make it even better. We could get rid of one of these and let's do it. Let's put on the Searle for the +1 a suffix modifier. Remember that this particular one is socket bound, so you can't remove it once you've socketed it. So let's do that. And now, since we have 6 mods on here already, we can just use an Ancient Rib. And now we can go over to the Well of Souls and see if we can get our crit damage bonus on here as well. Again, you could settle if you wanted to for, a resistance if you're crafting it for yourself. I think these ones were worth a decent amount anyway, so let's see. Nothing particularly good. No, we didn't really get anything too crazy there. We got resistance, so let's activate our Omen of Light so we can get rid of the desecration, and we'll add another Ancient Rib. So let's do that. So make sure this is active before you do that, so it'll get the correct one, the desecration. Let's see, can we get crit damage? Elemental infusions, we don't care too much about that. Chance. Okay, spell mana converted to life cost. This is kind of interesting for my build in particular, but not really that amazing. You could settle again for resistances. That is a tier 1, but let's see if we can get the crit damage to show up, because crit damage on this thing is actually going to be really, really nice. We got some good resistances. It's tier 2, but ooh, we got a tier 1 lightning res there as well. So we can have a look at this. I don't know if there's going to be any of these on the market as it is. Nope. So yeah, you could keep rolling, 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 or you could settle for resistance if that works for your build. It's really up to you. This sort of item, I don't know, we might be able to get a few, at least 300 or 400. I'm not actually 100% sure. So I'll maybe I'll post these and we'll see how we go. All right, let's go back to this one since we have some resources left. What I'm going to do is add the Soul onto this one. And let's try and get either cast speed or even critical damage would be nice. Yeah, I think cast speed in particular on this one, since we didn't do it with the crafted mod, would actually be pretty good here. So let's see if we can slam that on. So we've got a few ancient ribs left. Let's go back over to the Well of Souls. So I think this one in particular could probably net us some pretty good profit if we're able to get cast speed on here. So let's see if we can. Again, crit damage might also be nice, but okay, we've got our echoes activated. Nothing really all that good here. Nothing all that good here. Look, something like energy shield recharge rate or even the resistance stuff here might also be good, but let's go for the cast speed. I think cast speed, it's probably got a reasonably low chance of actually rolling, but I think it's maybe a little bit higher. We could double check. So let's have a look at cast speed. It is a little bit higher, so maybe we do go for cast speed. So let's have a look. We got the chaos resistance. Okay, so let's go Omen of Light, and we'll get rid of that, and we'll go again with an ancient rib. Let's see what we can get here. Cast speed. We got a cold res. Double resistances might also be pretty interesting on this one, but I think we will get a little greedier here. Ooh. Oh, we got a 22%. That's pretty low, isn't it? What is that? What tier is that? That's a tier 3. So again, I don't think something like this even exists on the market right now. So yeah, I'm not even sure. We could try and get greedier, or we could just settle for that for now. But it just depends on how many omens of light you want to spend. These are like 9 div each or something at the moment. So, you know, it is what it is. So, I don't know. I'm pretty happy with our crafting session here for the video. So, you guys, if you have any questions or anything, let me know with a comment down below. There is some RNG involved in doing these sorts of crafts, of course, but I think this one is still pretty good, even with a 22%. We could try and get a little greedier, but again, it just depends on how many you want to spend. I think this one with the high energy shield is also pretty good. This one has the crafted mods as well as, yeah, higher energy shield. This one, we got a decent energy shield as well with a fire resistance. So again, these we could keep rolling again at the Well of Souls. Just depends on how many omens of light you're interested in spending. You know, it is what it is. So, guys, if you enjoyed this video, if you found it interesting or useful at all, consider hitting like and subscribe for me. I also did craft this one over here. We might do our body armors on the next video. If you're interested, just let me know with a comment down below. And with that, I hope you all have a fantastic, amazing day. Take it easy.